Congratulations on the great victory in the Fatherland Liberation War. Order number 470 of the Supreme Commander of the Korean People's Army by Kim Il-sung, July 27th, 1953. Comrade soldiers, non-commissioned officers, officers and generals of the valiant Korean People's Army. On July 27th, an armistice agreement has been signed between the delegates of the Korean People's Army and the Chinese People's Volunteers on the one side, and the delegates of the aggressive armed forces, headed by the US imperialists, on the other. The just Fatherland Liberation War of the Korean people against the US imperialist invaders and their stooges, the Syngman-rhee clique, ended in our victory. This fact, the signing of the armistice agreement, is a proof of the military, political, and moral defeat of the US imperialist invaders and their lackeys, the Syngman-rhee clique. The Korean people waged a heroic fight in the 3-year Fatherland Liberation War, enjoying disinterested assistance, material and moral, from the peoples of the democratic camp who love world peace. Thus, they defended the honor, freedom, and independence of their motherland, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, and won the victory. The US imperialists tried to impose upon the Korean people their yoke of slavery in place of the colonial slavery of Japanese imperialism, reduce Korea to their colony, and, further, turn it into a base of war against China and the Soviet Union. But they failed to attain their aim. In their war of aggression against the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, the US imperialists themselves plainly revealed that they are a vicious enemy of both the Korean people and the freedom-loving peoples the world over. The officers and people of the Korean People's Army fought heroically, displaying indomitable perseverance, and thereby smashed to smithereens the myth about the quote-unquote technical omnipotence and quote-unquote invincibility of the US imperialists, and compelled them to sign the armistice agreement. I extend my warm congratulations and thanks to the officers and people of the Korean People's Army who, by waging a devoted and heroic struggle, defeated the US imperialist invaders and their stooges, the Syngman-rhee clique, and achieved a glorious victory in the Fatherland Liberation War. On behalf of the entire Korean people, I also express deep-felt gratitude to the officers and people of the fraternal Chinese People's Volunteers, who were courageous and steadfast, and gave us valuable help in our just Fatherland Liberation War. Today, when the armistice is realized, the officers and people of our People's Army are confronted with the task of watching the enemy's intrigues, with vigilance at all times, and getting fully ready for action. We should have the conviction that, if the US imperialist invaders and their lackeys ignite another war against the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, we will wipe them out finally. To celebrate our victory in the Fatherland Liberation War against the US imperialist invaders and their stooges, the Syngman-rhee clique, I give the following order. At 2100 hours, 124 guns shall fire 24 salvos each in Pyongyang, the democratic capital of our country. Long live the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, our glorious motherland. Long live the heroic Korean People's Army. Long live the valiant Chinese People's Volunteers. Everlasting glory to the officers and people of the Korean People's Army and the Chinese People's Volunteers, who fell in the sacred Fatherland Liberation War for the freedom and independence of our country.
Thank you for listening to this reading from the People's School for Marxist-Leninist Studies. Support us at newoutlookpublishers.net, join us on Discord, Follow us on Twitter and visit peopleschool.org to sign up for free classes.